Hello, I'm Jarna Hector. Welcome to National Focus. Coming up, government addresses housing needs in Dubuque. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit comments on the IMF report and the 56th meeting of the OECS Authority to convene this week. Stay with us as we bring you details of these stories and others when National Focus returns.
Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. The 56th meeting of the OECS Authority is scheduled for November 22nd and 23rd, 2012 at the Rosalie Bay Resort. On Thursday, November 22nd, a joint meeting of the Monetary Council and the OECS Authority following a special meeting of the Monetary Council will be convened. The Monetary Council comprises the ministers with responsibility for finance. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit commented on these meetings.
We have a series of meetings which take place this week in Dominica. The first is the Monetary Council meeting. Monetary Council is Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Now, all of us are mindful of the challenge. Every single country in the OECS, for the monetary union, is having problems, is having challenges. There's no secret. It's open for everybody to see and to hear. There are a number of things that we have to do together. And if we don't work together, then it will make it more difficult for any of us to achieve any real results. So we're meeting at a very critical juncture of the situation confronting our islands. And we felt that if we're going to be in Dominica, it's important for us to meet in Dominica. So the first meeting on Thursday morning will be a meeting of the Monetary Council. In the afternoon of that same day, we will have a joint meeting with the heads of government of the OECS and the ministers of finance of the OECS to discuss issues, because some prime ministers are not ministers of finance. So it's important to get them involved and to get them to buy into some of the measures, some of the recommendations that we will put forward in addressing some of the challenges confronting each one of us individually and collectively, because we're part of a monetary union.
On Friday, November 23rd, the 56th meeting of the OECS Authority will be convened. This meeting will include the business session, which will be followed by the caucus of the OECS heads of government. The decisions taken at that meeting will be communicated via a press conference following the adjournment of the meeting. A meeting for the business community of the OECS will also be convened on Friday, November 23rd. The outcome of this meeting will be discussed with the heads of government that same day at Rosalie.
OECS heads of government will meet on Friday to deliberate on issues relating to the economic union and of course, again, the economy of the OECS.
It is expected that the 56th meeting of the OECS Authority will outline the way forward for the implementation of the revised Treaty of Bastia. It will also consider applications for membership of the OECS, establish the Economic Affairs Council, and engage the business sector from across the region, among other matters. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, in a recent interview, stated that regional integration is central to all discussions.
Everything we do is in a move towards creating a closer union among ourselves. As you know, we have signed on to the economic union. I believe the next step is political union, and I believe the steps we're making towards march towards political union are all evident. We are consolidating the gains that we've made in terms of the functional cooperation we've had for so many decades. We're consolidating the gains that we're making in respect to our progress towards economic union. There's still a lot of work to be done, a lot of things to address. We have to engage the private sector, engage the trade unions, engage the employers federation, and engage all the stakeholders so that they can continue to join hands with us to our march towards closer union. Because there are things that we're doing individually as member states. It really doesn't make sense to do it individually. There's a greater call for us to work together to bring greater benefits to all of our citizens.
OECS member states are Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts Nevis, and Montserrat, with the countries of Anguilla and the British Virgin Islands as associate members. In other news, the International Monetary Fund, or IMF, concluded its consultation with Dominica earlier this month and reports that while Dominica's economic recovery continues, it is losing momentum. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit commented on the factors contributing to the economy's reduced pace.
The world has been grappling with a serious economic and fiscal challenge since 2008. I mean, entire world, you know, so it's not only the Caribbean or Dominica. I mean, you're talking about the North America, you're talking about the whole of Eurozone, whole of Europe, as a matter of fact, the United Kingdom, all been experiencing challenges. Now, we are heavily dependent on the U.S. economy having buoyancy in order for us to gain from that. And if you have several millions of people out of work in the United States and the United Kingdom and Europe, where your main source of tourists come from, you will have a challenge. And the challenge has been demonstrated in throughout the CARICOM countries, especially those who are heavily dependent on tourism or partially dependent on tourism. So you will expect it to be declines. And of course, with our own citizens, Dominican citizens who are resident in those countries unemployed, the level of remittance that they would have sent back to the country, to their families and so forth, would also be reduced. So we have seen reductions in those areas and expect that as a result, consumption demand will also decrease.
The IMF report also contained recommendations that would keep Dominica's economy afloat. The Prime Minister stated that his government has taken measures and will continue to do so to safeguard Dominica's economy.
What we have done in recognizing and taking preemptive action is on reducing discretionary spending and ensuring that we put in place safety nets to guard against any impact on the most vulnerable groups in our society. So we're remaining true to our fiscal policies. And this is why we've always said to people in Dominica, look, the requests that you normally make a government are not things that the government should consider because it may have a wider and more lasting impact on the economy than you believe. Because people who make requests and demands of the government only look at their own particular requests. The government now has to look at the whole picture and recognize that one decision in a particular area could have a debilitating effect on the rest of the economy. So we're not out of the woods now. It's a challenging period for everybody. Your revenue has dropped. You have to either maintain expenditure levels, particularly in key and social services or key services of the state. You may have to increase expenditure. We increase expenditure in a number of areas, whether it's in national security, whether it's in education, whether it's in healthcare, the infrastructure of the country. Geothermal is an important platform for future sustainable economic growth. But we've had to spend much more than we budgeted for to bring that closer to reality. So these are investments that we are making for future sustainable growth in the economy.
The challenges presented by the IMF report came as no surprise to government, as the Roosevelt-Skerrit-led administration wastes no time in updating Dominicans periodically of those challenges.
The IMF report, we have no real issues with it. We take it for what they've reported. There's an independent people who come in to the country from time to time, assess the situation, and report based on their own findings. If one wants to spend time arguing with them or not arguing with them, that's a matter for somebody. But we are mindful of the challenges confronting the Dominican economy. We have always articulated those challenges to Dominican people. If you look at our budget address of 2012, you will see that we made reference to those challenges. And we indicate to Dominica that we have to be mindful of those challenges and also take proactive and preemptive decisions to mitigate against the possible difficulties which we experience as a result of the global economic crisis.
The IMF Executive Board also concluded that government's geothermal pursuits could boost the potential growth of Dominica's economy.
What the IMF report is saying is that while there are challenges confronting the Dominican economy and things have slowed down a bit, the government has not been sitting on its hands. We have been doing things to place the economy in a more sound footing and to ensure that areas that we invest in can create sustainable growth and create sustainable jobs for the economy. And geothermal is one of them. We've invested heavily in geothermal, and we believe that we are making progress in respect to the realization of having our energy, our main source of energy, from geothermal. We also have been moving into tourism investments, actually investing in hotel construction, making more money available for the aid bank to property developers at reduced interest rates. We have made investments in agriculture, in the infrastructure. I mean, the level of investment we're making in infrastructure, from the road constructions to the various projects have been financed under the loan agreement by China. All of these things are helping grow the economy. Special loan facilities for housing, both at the Government Housing Loan Board and at the Aid Bank, are all contributing towards the maintenance of some stability in the economy.
According to the Prime Minister, government is also working to improve the investment and business environment in Dominica.
When you walk through the city of Rosa, for example, you will see that all these derelict, abandoned buildings have been demolished and built. People are building new structures and massive structures, if you're to add. So there are people in Dominica who recognize that there is certain confidence which they have in the economy, and because of that, they're going to invest in a number of structures in the city. So we're mindful of these issues, and that's why the IMF report has indicated that, notwithstanding the challenges, the government of Dominica has been bold, has been creative in implementing a number of measures which we believe in the long run can reverse the slowdown or the reduction of growth in the economy.
Moving along, Minister for Social Services, Honorable Gloria Shillingford, in observation of Universal Children's Day on Tuesday, November 20th, delivered an address which focused on taking action for children's well-being. Honorable Shillingford's address was aired last Sunday, which was designated World Day of Prayer and Action for Children. Here is an excerpt from the minister's speech.
There is no spiritual, ethical, or moral justification for the abuse of children, and it is therefore a scourge which needs to be stamped out now, on this day set aside to observe the rights of children. I therefore call upon all sectors of society, churches, schools, communities, families, individuals, to make it your responsibility and your duty to love, nurture, and protect the children entrusted to our care. In the olden days, it was said that it takes a community to raise a child. How then can persons from the very communities to which children look for nurturing turn around and abuse them? I call on everyone, parents, religious leaders, politicians, civil society, to denounce every practice which is aimed at harming the well-being of children and to encourage proper treatment of children in our society, Dominica. We owe our children that much to protect them, the children, our future generation.
Minister Shillingford called on all citizens to band together as partners to eradicate child abuse. She denounced persons who do not speak out against violence and in effect condone the action, including parents.
There are parents out there who condone the abuse of their own children for meager material support from their male partners, the very perpetrators of abuse against their children. Some allow abuse of their children for monetary and material rewards. I call upon you parents to examine your hearts and consciences and see whether you are doing for your children what God has called you to do.
The minister ended her address by reminding children of their endless potential. Chief Education Officer and Chairman of the National Accreditation Board, Stevenson Hyacinth, at a press conference on Monday discussed the tasks of the National Accreditation Board. The board has declared this week as Quality Assurance Week under the theme Improving Quality Assurance in Higher Education Through Institutional Development. Hyacinth explained that the board aims to serve as an impetus for the highest level of education through honest and reliable service.
The board seeks to maintain a high level of credibility, integrity, trustworthiness, and to uphold the modes of efficiency in its quest to obtain local, regional, and worldwide recognition and acclamation. There is also the recognition that in order to be a catalyst for the quality improvement of tertiary institutions, the board must be independent and it must be impartial in its decision-making processes. In fact, integrity is regarded as the hallmark of its operation.
The chairman also stated that the board wants every post-secondary institution on the island to constantly work towards delivering top-quality education.
We propose that no institution, be it early childhood, primary, secondary, or tertiary should compromise the quality aspects of its operation. The popularity of the output of the learning institution, or rather the success of students, will enhance only if action is taken to prevent quality problems from occurring. In practice, this means devising systems for carrying out tasks which directly affect product quality. This holds true to any institution of learning, and as the National Accreditation Board of Dominica, we expect tertiary institutions, through the self-evaluation process, to identify and uncover neglected areas of institutional strength and weaknesses, and to put effective and creative measures in place to improve upon the areas which require attention.
Hyacinth assured tertiary level institutions that the National Accreditation Board is willing to provide the necessary support to take higher learning to standards that are in accordance with the changing environment. He detailed the method by which the board works.
In undertaking the task of registration and accreditation, the board will be guided by the best practices in quality assurance, which must be evident in the quality of students' performance, the quality of the programs, which include aims, philosophy, structure, content, the practical work, the quality of staff and faculty, the quality of resources, the quality of the learning environment, and the quality of assessment. The site's visits and review processes are evidence-based. There must be concrete evidence to show clearly a purposeful and structured set of learning experiences that lead to a qualification.
Quality Assurance Week continues on Wednesday with an open house downstairs the ministerial building. In other news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and his cabinet have assisted the community of Dubic in a major way. On Monday, the Dubic Improvement Committee received a check of $60,000 from the government of Dominica, which will go toward improving housing needs within the community. Honorable Dr. Kenneth Daru, who is the parliamentary representative for Dubic, stated that government is fully aware of the plight of the people and that it is willing to take steps to address those issues. The small presentation is evidence of that.
Since taking over the mantle also as PAL rep 3 years ago, I recognize the serious challenges that the Dubic community face, and top on the list, of course, is the housing issue. I've already taken steps to address this issue, and we hope that this contribution from the government, Ministry of Land and Housing, will also go a long way into further ensuring the issues. We know that the funds that are being made available will not be able to address all the housing issues this one time rather. Okay, but we're hoping that it will be the start of something good.
As government continues to address the issue of housing across the country, the community of Dubic is not exempt. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit spoke to the efforts that his government has taken to empower the people of Dubic.
Dr. Daru made reference to the issue of land. And when I got to know a few years ago that the land was owned by some private citizen, it wasn't owned by the residents of Dubic. And I asked myself, how is it that for all of these years, all these decades, that it never dawned on any government to recognize that Dubic was owned by a private citizen, and that they should go ahead and buy the land and make it available to the residents of Dubic. Because you know that even if you may have a little resources here and you want to do something for yourself, there's no way you could go to any bank or credit union to say that I am living in Dubic and therefore I want a loan to fix my house or to build a house. They will not give it to you, because you will not be able to give to the bank or the credit union the most important document, which is a certificate of title. And I said to the government immediately that we have to move in, and whoever owns the land, the government should buy it from the person and hand it over to the people of Jubic.
The Prime Minister stated that his administration is committed to improving the challenges that residents face.
You are getting land at the best rate or the impossible rate you can find anywhere in the world. Because there's nowhere in the world they're selling land for 25 cents a square foot. And you will recall that when we came into office, there were hundreds of families in Dominica, who were squatting on government land, not because they wanted to break the law, but you know, after Hurricane David, the whole country was destroyed. And people had to find a piece of land to build a little 2x4 for their children and for themselves. And for decades, these people stayed on the land with politicians and people in government coming to threaten them to say that if you do not vote for us next time, we will throw you out of the land. Now, in the Labour Party, my dear friends, and for me, from an ideological and philosophical point of view, I believe in people's independence. You understand? But you cannot be independent if you do not own the title, because anytime somebody could put you out. The owner of the land could have gone to court and say, look, I want these people out. And can you imagine, you've lived there for 40, 50 years, and then all of a sudden there's a court order to put you out of the land. But we are here to reassure you and to confirm to you that this will never happen in Jubic, because the government of Dominica bought this land and we are selling it to you, the residents of Jubic, at 25 cents a square foot.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit shared his vision for the community of Jubic, and that is for Jubic to be recognized as a legal community.
We paid $5.35 a square foot for the land, and we sell it to you at 25 cents. So somebody may come to Jubic and say, well, what is Dr. Darrow doing for you in Jubic? What is Skerrit doing for you in Jubic? What is Labour Party doing for you in Jubic? One of the most important things we have done for you here is to give you a peace of mind that tomorrow morning, many of you here will have a title in your name. In your name. And at the time, we were not, while we recognized that the person who was selling to us was selling to us too expensive, but our main consideration at the time was to settle the people of Jubic. Because you have always been a people of struggle. You worked, your grandparents and our parents, they worked on the farms. We had nowhere to turn. We ended up settling here in Jubic. But we're making this into a recognized legal community called Jubic. And I am very happy to be part of a government that has recognized that.
Jubic's parliamentary representative also had good news for those residents.
I'm also pleased to announce that the lots, that the long-awaited lots on the other side of the Jubic River are also available. The list of recommended people to receive these lots have been sent to the relevant authorities, and soon we should be taking that decision at cabinet to really confirm it at cabinet level. And also pleased to announce that, true to his word, that the Prime Minister has given his word that these lands are going to be sold at 25 cents a square foot to the Jubic community.
Honorable Darrow appealed to the residents that once they have received their confirmation letter regarding their lot, they should make payments to ensure that the land is in fact theirs.
Unless you make full payment towards the lot, you cannot say that it's going to be yours. So once full payment is made, you'll go ahead or you receive a certificate of title, etc. And then you can say, well, that is my land. I can leave a piece of land for my son, my daughter.
Octave Joseph expressed his gratitude on behalf of the Improvements Committee.
I feel very much delighted. On the behalf of Dad, I can say that is the first time that a government has put so much trust in any group in Jubic. I must say that it's a blessing. Two, I can add by saying that we are going to do our utmost, okay, stretch every dollar to the max, not compromising the quality of work that we're supposed to offer or give out to the people of Dubic. Once again, I must say thank you to the entire cabinet. Thank you to our PAL rep, and most importantly, to the Prime Minister. Thank you so much, sir, for placing on us that trust.
The Bella group of Dubic performed at the end of the handing over ceremony. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle Creole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ambassadeur OICS et puis CARICOM pour la Dominique Félix Grégoire, représenté Dominique en grand meeting OICS East Caribbean Central Bank, qui était pour place en Saint-Lucie. Selon ambassadeur Grégoire, Secretariat OICS ni a collaboré et puis East Caribbean Central Bank tient l'argent ici là bien de bout.
La dernière meeting held OICS Secretariat avec ça nous qui est ECCB, Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Donc ce qu'on est Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, c'est une organisation qui est formidable. C'est l'argent qui a gardé compte. C'est eux qui a gardé compte l'argent. Il y a un gouverneur doit venir là. Il a gardé compte tout le bail pour faire l'argent, finance, banking, c'est bien ça là. Il y avait un OICS Secretariat qui a fait habiter marché en OICS. So, le travail qui est pour faire, c'est un work programme, c'est eux qui a fait. Vous comprenez? Mais nous avons 10 organes ça pas marcher ensemble. Ils ne peuvent pas coordonner. Pas de manière pour coordonner. So, c'est ça donc regarder compte. Comment pour travailler mais ensemble. So, si vous avez fait quelque chose, ça OICS secrétaire qu'a fait, ils sont supposés savoir parce que l'argent n'est pour supposé coordonner ça. So, si OICS te fait habiter, il fait dommage pour l'argent nous, ça dollar nous, paye pour US dollar. L'autre ça fait, depuis 70 mois ça te fait. Il paye pour US dollar. Ça fait qu'il y a une manière à son l'argent. Mais l'argent dollar n'est pas été fort. So, là, on peut parler de programme pour tourisme, programme pour agriculture, on parle pour faire pour servir un gros beaucoup ça là, déstabiliser dollar ça là. So tout le monde pour ça qui a fait pour pas taper sous prise.
En d'autres nouvelles, ministère pour Environnement, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, représenté Dominique en meeting développement sustainable qui était pour place en Saint-Vincent et puis Grenadines. C'est le ministre Darrow, bagay qui a concerné développement sustainable, discuter.
Nous en Caribbean là, et OICS là, nous avons special vulnerabilities là, il pour change climatique. Mais il y a un concern que comme mon ministère environnement Dominique a mis à la table là, c'est in fact des concerns que mettre à la table là, c'était yon qui comme pour top c'est l'argent qui nous a tapé hot de notre agency top c'est l'argent ça nous a dépassé c'est l'argent ça en nous a créé administrative cost et consultancy il y a combien d'années ils ont bien documenté comment c'est pays City Island comme ça nous comment nous special vulnerabilities là venir pour chercher climatique nous pas besoin de pièces study pièces document pour nous ça et ben mon concern moi c'est l'argent ça qui a venu de notre agency de notre country là nous et pour nous voir comment nous ça dépenser l'argent plus pour le grassroots project pour faire projects qui c'est visible tangible projects qui a affecté monde qui cherche climatique affecté pour faire wall pour river defense et ben c'est bien ça là et ben number 2 comme c'est pas ni communication entre ces pays OICS là et OICS secrétaire parce que bon cas ouais
bagay yo nan le programme yo pour nan de neuf là c'est bagay nous Dominique Jaffer ben ça avance c'est ça qu'a dit nous que ces communications c'est il n'y a pas de duplication avec cette travail qu'a fait so nous supposons ni plus communication entre ces OIC secrétaire de ces respectifs pays.
D'autres nouvelles organisations secrétaire l'État Award for Corporate Excellence qu'a recognisé Rosalie Berizot pour finaler les affaires excellence pour l'année 2012. Award Sanlac établi en 1999 qu'a recognisé comment business l'Amérique a joué un pas autant significant à l'autre pays. Plusieurs business tapent nomination rôle atteint et puis en y 11 d'eux sorti à tête. Nomination Sanlac a reflété si pour l'occasion là pour faire développement sustainable et puis faire protection tortille la mer et d'autres bagailles initiatives communauté. Plusieurs d'autres bagailles mettaient l'occasion Sanlac bien à tête pour taper nomination Sanlac. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour Nouvelle Créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Au revoir.
Stay tuned for the tip of the day. Our tip today is about being a good friend. Benjamin Franklin once said, make use of your friends by being of use to them. A true friend doesn't wait until someone asks for help. Instead, he takes the initiative to help others. This, of course, is easier said than done, but to do this, you should be on the lookout for needs. When you sense a need, think about how you can help and take the initiative to do so. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. You can also visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks for watching.